I can't stop I can't stop the.
This is just 21 days that will change the rest of your life.
You deserve to feel amazing. Don't just settle for just getting by.
Even though you already think you're healthy like me, you need to try this because it will connect all the dots.
This is a life change. It changed my life completely.
If you want to live a life of vibrancy, this is the momentum that you need. Hi, my name is Giselle Mascareñas.
Carolina Chams.
Rosemary. My name is Richard Cardona.
Iris Gomez.
Well, my name is Marcia Terry.
I'm Magdalena.
My name is Lisette.
I'm a coach, a life coach.
I'm a wife. I have two beautiful boys.
I am a registered nurse of over 30 years.
I'm a nutritionist.
I'm a single mom. I'm 50 years old.
I kind of had reached a plateau. I have done several things in my life, different cleanses, detox, all different kinds of things.
I tried everything. I hired everyone, and it didn't work for me.
Forgetting things. I have the brain fog.
I was inflamed. I was exhausted. I could barely move some days, and I didn't feel like myself anymore.
So a great friend of mine, she said, you have to give this a try because you have to go to the core of things. And because I trust her and because I know that she's always looking and she's a researcher and always looking for the best, then I said, I have to give this a go.
When I started seeing the weight go down, I lost 16 pounds.
I felt more alive. I felt like I was recovering myself. To date, I have lost over 30 pounds.
I lost 6 pounds.
Over 9 pounds.
I lost 10 pounds, which for me was almost, it was impossible. I said, I'm never going to lose this weight. I was floored.
Sometimes we need this reset, like a radical reset, to change the trajectory of, what's going on with your body. This is the missing link. You've been looking for it. This is the link.
Don't be like me. I searched and searched and searched, and I was stubborn, and I thought I had the answer. So this is something that you almost can't afford not to do. Let me tell you, your life after 21 days will never be the same.
Wow. Well, with a little bit of a change here, I'm going to lead off today. It's great to see everybody. Landon Frederick here, CEO of Manatech. I love seeing everybody's beautiful faces around the world. I just had to lead off because these two guys that you're hearing from today are two of my mentors, two people who are very, very special to me. But before I get into that, I do want to tell you that I am actually on day 14 of the liver cleanse. And you know what's funny about this is that I did the 10-day, and it's so fun. It's crazy how you forget. It's like you forget that, you put some things in your body and you forget about the kind of impact that it has, just the wrong foods, the wrong things. And I'm telling you what, this mono diet, the simplicity of it has been extraordinary for me. I was just telling Richard earlier that 2 nights ago, I was working at 11 o'clock at night and I felt like I was spinning plates and I was juggling it all. I had no brain fog. I just felt amazing. And not to mention, my body reacts crazy to stuff like this, but I've lost 13 pounds in 2 weeks. I've lost 13 pounds. It's crazy. And it's probably because I'm working out. I'm working out really hard at the same time, but I feel so good. And it's the clarity, just laser focused. And I love join the WhatsApp community, just the support that everybody's getting. The results are unbelievable, the results that people are getting. And here's the crazy thing about it. It's easy. It's really not hard. I mean, it's so simple. They just take out all the stuff that makes things complicated and just make it super easy. And not to mention, I have to set my alarm on my phone to remind me to eat. That's how powerful the satiety product is. I take 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. Crazy how it has taken away my hunger. Crazy. I have to feed it. Sometimes I'll sit there and go, why do I feel so weak right now? Well, because I should eat. Got to eat. Got to stay on track and eat. So I just want to say, for those of you who are doing it, those of you who have done it, congratulations. I know you feel amazing right now. Keep up the maintenance. I'm going to keep it up. I'm going to stay on top of this. I feel better than I've felt in years. I know I did it 3 months ago, but I still feel better than that right now. I'm pumped. So, all right. So we'll jump over to the call because you're not here to hear from me. You're here to hear from these two extraordinary leaders. So first off, Al, again, my mentor, my brother, you're here. You've been with this company for over 18, 19 years, but you've been in this business changing people's lives. You're just an extraordinary leader. You're one of the greatest motivators that I know. You're an amazing global business builder that our profession has ever seen. You wrote a book. For those of you who haven't read his book, you got to pick up The Motivation Equation because it breaks motivation down to its purest form. And it's the purest truth. Dreams times beliefs equals action. But what makes Al special isn't just the formula. It's really the life behind how he lives. He's lived that message in more than 100 countries around the world, coaching hundreds of thousands of people and lifting leaders everywhere he goes. So you're going to hear from Al in just a second, but I also want to introduce you to Mr. Richard Brooke. Look, both these guys have shaped my leadership, shaped my thinking, and shaped the way that I serve this company. Richard Bliss Brooke, he is the author of a new book that's coming out called Leadership on Fire. This book blew my mind. I just read it recently. Richard is one of the most emotionally intelligent, grounded leaders that I've ever met. In his book, he talks about the power of the 3 C's: clarity, courage, and conviction, and how true leadership begins not with strategy, but with the state of being you and what you bring into the world. Richard teaches that leadership isn't loud, it's not positional, it's not about ego. Leadership is about who you choose to be every single day and the energy that you carry into every single conversation. That message has shaped me deeply. So, both of these men, Richard and Al, carry something extremely rare. They change who you become simply by being in the room with them. They've done that for me, and today, I believe that they'll do that for you. So it's my honor to introduce 2 giants of leadership, 2 mentors in my life, and 2 of the greatest human beings that I know. First off, Al Bala and Mr. Richard Brooke. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Landon. I don't want to open my mouth because I'm going to screw it all up now.
You can't. Everything you say is gold, Al. Everything you say is gold.
I have to say, I feel deeply honored to be on the same stage with the 2 of you. Richard has been, I've called him for a long time, my mentor from afar. He had no idea who I was, but he was my mentor way back in the early days of my formative days in this industry. And then I had the great privilege of working with him and do that every day. And I consider that a real blessing. I don't take it for granted. So this is going to be a really special call. We're going to probably go a little longer, maybe 10, 15 minutes. For those of you who have to get out, that's okay. I apologize in advance. But this is a powerful call. This is really a convergence of what Landon was talking about, getting some clarity, right? Getting some vision, right? I think the 2 big titans of this meeting here are Richard Brooke and a company called Manatech, 31 years, making a difference around the world. I really believe that is amazing. If you're here for the first time and you're hearing about Manatech for the first time, I'm going to take you through it really quick because I really want to give Richard as much time as we can. So I'm going to go into it right now, but this is going to be a moment of belief, leadership, and vision when it all collides and makes all sense. If you're here for the first time, you picked a great meeting, probably the best global connection we will have this year. So I just want to prepare you in advance, but also I know the timing is right, and you're going to know this by the time you're done with this call. You were here at the right time with the right people and with the right message. So if you're here for the first time, give us a hello, give us a shout, put your hands up, put a 1 on the chat, say new. We want to welcome you. 45 years ago this month, I was new in a meeting just like you. So I know exactly what a meeting can do in your life. So that's what happened to me. And I certainly hope it happens to you as well. So why are you here? Well, you're probably here because somebody who likes you and respects you wanted you to be to look at something they are excited about. And I can tell you in advance, whether this is something you want to do or you don't want to do, these people, they're going to do it because they're excited about it, because they understand that this is giving them options for today, for 5 years from now, for a lifetime. An option to have choices, to have freedom, to have all kinds of different options, right? The way they conduct their life, both from a health or from a finance. So today we're going to be talking about health a little bit, but we're really going to be talking about a business model that can transform your economic reality, like it transformed mine from factory worker to CEO of a company and having a global business in over 65 different countries. Also changed the life of Richard Brooke, who was cutting up chicken at one point in a chicken factory. And today he is one of the most recognized. He's a thought leader. He's a leader of leaders, and all that because we were introduced years ago to this business model. So you're going to be hearing a lot about that. Now, also, I want to tell you, because we're going into the absolute best time of the season, right? For you, if you are really thinking about starting a business, being part of a business, making some extra money, there's never a time like this, because $74 billion are going to change hands in 4 days. And I want to ask you, are you going to be one of those people, the masses, the herd that will be storming the stores to get a 30% off on a big TV because you need a bigger TV? Or are you going to be those who actually use this time to launch a business to totally change what 2026 looks for you and possibly what your whole life could look like? So are you going to be among those who are spending the money, or are you going to be around those that are making the money? So we're going to show you how to position yourself on the earning side for the holidays. 169 million just in America. And I know this is also global. It's happening in Mexico. It's happening in Europe. People will be spending money. Millions of people with their credit cards on hand going online to spend money. Well, guess what? Instead of spending money, we want to show you how to make the money. So let me just keep going here as my door is being knocked on as I speak, but I can't stop. So, folks, life has changed. There's factors that have transformed our reality, whether it's the internet, e-commerce, right, social media. The question is, right, why are 73 to 100 million people now looking to make an extra income? It's called the gig economy. It's called people out there trying to make extra money. Why is that happening? Most likely because most people feel poorer today than they felt 10 years ago. They're probably making more money, but they feel poorer. And today we're going to be talking to you about a business, a health and wellness beauty business that is the fastest growing segment of business in the world, globally, all over the world. And Manatech has positioned itself as a global leader in this business model. And the reason we're different is because we've been around 30 years, because we pioneered a new science called nutritional glycobiology, and because we have been serving millions of customers with amazing results for the past 31 years. What do? We help people with their immune health, their gut health. We help people with fat loss. We help people with skincare. We help people with just better nutrition, better life. But more than that, we help people to create something very special with their lives by serving others with something that makes a big difference in their lives. We call those glycans. Glycans is our real differentiation. I don't want to get into a biochemistry class. I just want to let you know that your body needs the glycans to function, because the glycans, they control basically cellular communication. Cellular communication is the basic foundational, biological process in your body. If that's not going well, nothing else is going well. And this is such a big deal. It's gotten many Nobel Prizes, including the last one in 2022. So, but this is just the start. What we have launched just in the last 3 or 4 months is a liver reset. You saw the video, you saw the testimonials. Folks, we have found a way to help people change their lives at the cellular level, starting with the liver, because that is the organ that carries 500 functions in your body. Your wellness journey starts with the liver. So if you're here because somebody told you about our great products and a way for you to actually improve your wellness, there you go. You just heard our CEO, Mr. Landon Frederick, talk about being 14 days into this. And I think I heard he lost 14 pounds. Well, guess what? The pounds lost is just the beginning. That's not what we're going for. We're going for a complete transformation of how you feel. Waking up in the morning and feeling vibrant, staying late at night and having your full mental capacity, your full focus, and being able to do things that you forgot you could do or you thought you were too old to do. So we want to give you basically a way for you to take advantage of all these things I'm talking about, but also to bring it to other people, right? Your Manatech business, your global e-commerce wellness business can start today for literally for less than $50, but somebody can actually show you how to do it for $1 today. For the rest of this month, for $1, you can be involved in a global e-commerce business in the wellness space, fastest growing space of all spaces in business, in 40 different countries, door to door. We take care of everything. All you have to do is show up. You don't need experience. You don't need to be a salesperson. We can teach you all the things that you need to do. You just need to be concerned about wanting to make people's lives better. If that's your concern, we got you. All right. We're going to show you how to make money. When you bring this to people and they decide to become a customer, we call that customer acquisition, 30 to 50%. You continue to earn as they buy and buy and buy and buy, because our customer retention is some of the highest in the industry, like 9.7 years for just our Amber Toast product. People buy it and they keep buying it because the product makes a difference. And we also pay you for building a team globally. And that's some of the things you're going to be hearing today from no better than Mr. Richard Brooke, that has been doing this for literally almost 50 years, who knows how this model can impact you and your families for the future. And while you're doing that, by the way, Manatech has a way to also take your productivity, your energy, and turn it into social impact. You don't even have to think about it. We got it. Where what you do helps us to feed children around the world through our M5M Foundation. So I hope you join the movement. I hope you become a part of this. Nothing to lose, everything to gain, and participate in what I think is the absolute best business model for people like you and I, and people like Richard Bliss Brooke, who 40 years ago went from factory worker, cutting up chicken, to becoming one of the premier. Besides being an author, a thought leader, he's a leader of leaders, and he is having and has had a major impact in millions of people's lives, including mine. So Richard, it's my great pleasure to introduce you to this Manatech community that you are very familiar with, because I know you are so committed to the community. You're committed to Manatech. You're committed to all of us. And I don't take that for granted. I appreciate it very much. Mr. Richard Brooke.
Thank you, Al. And thank you, Landon. Honored to be here with all of you all over the world with Manatech today. I have been working with Manatech now for about 9 months, probably the second time I've worked with them, maybe 5-6 years ago, worked with them for a year. And it's just my passion project to find companies that really exemplify the opportunity that network marketing offers us. Most companies don't. And I'm going to share with you a presentation today that you can take with you, you can use, you can share it with other people, you can study it yourself. But it's really my expression of why Manatech and why you And why now? In the midst of, a network marketing profession where there's over 3,000 companies that are utilizing this model around the world, and there's only about 50 of them worth paying attention to, and there's only about maybe 20 that have proven that if you build it here, you'll get paid forever. And that is really the distinction that I want you to think about as I share my story and the Manitech story with you today. Because if we don't have the opportunity to build something and get paid forever, then really all we're doing is creating a job, right? We work, we get paid, we stop working, we stop getting paid. And that's the real distinction that network marketing has to offer that's different than any other gig opportunity on the planet. Is you can build something once. It might take you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years to build it up to where you want, maybe even more. But then if you pick the right company, if you pick the right product line, you can get paid forever. I have clients that are third generation network marketing inheritees. Their grandparents built the income. They're earning it. Why? Grandparents passed away. The parents inherited the income. The parents passed away. And now the grandkids are enjoying what the grandparents built. How does that happen? It only happens 2 ways. Products that are in demand virtually forever, and a company that knows how to prosper long-term through all the ups and downs, all the economic and political cycles, all the competition, all the internal things that a company might do to slow it down. There's very, very few companies that have the staying power of Manitech. And I want to show you today and share with you, well, we'll just call it my Manitech story, if you will. So why Manitech? Why you? Why now? And I'm going to start with my story so that we have some context as to who I am. I'm an ontological coach and I wrote a couple of books, but what does that mean? I think the most meaningful thing about my story is that I'm like Al, and I'm like many of you. Say, what is this picture here? This is my home. I didn't live in it when it looked this bad, but when I took the picture 4 or 5 years ago, this is what it looked like. But this is where I lived, right outside the chicken plant in Livingston, California in 1977. I bought this home for $11,000. And, I worked in this chicken plant called Foster Farms. I thought I was going to work there the rest of my life. I actually loved it. I liked the culture. I liked the whole management thing. I just liked it. And I had a vision of, someday I'm going to run this whole chicken plant. And so, I was totally dedicated. So I bought the closest house you could buy to the front gate of the chicken plant. And this is it right here. If I expand the picture out, you still see the chicken plant to the left of it. But then something happened in my career at the chicken plant, which happens to people all over the planet. Stuff happens. I got one of my best friends from high school started telling me about this opportunity, wanted me to come to a meeting, right, and all this kind of stuff. And I said no, emphatically, 3 times, 3 different times over about 3 weeks, emphatically no. Why did I say no? It's not that I didn't want to make the kind of money he was talking about. It's just that kind of money felt to me like disingenuous, like out of my comfort zone. Like if I tried to do something like that, I might fail. What I was good at was the chicken plant. And even though it didn't pay very well, it was very comfortable. So I authentically and emphatically told him no 3 times in a row. And, you have people tell you no. And some of you maybe on this call have said no. Maybe you're still saying no. And we understand that. We get that, right? People have their own lives, their own priorities. It's your life, it's your money, it's your time, it's your decision. And what we're doing is not for everybody all the time. And at that time, it was not for me. But things do change. And so here's what changed at the chicken plant. The founder of the chicken plant died while jogging at the age of 42. And his wife did not want to run a chicken plant. So she hired somebody to run it. The guy she hired had a master's degree in poultry husbandry. I don't even know how you get such a thing. But he had it. And because of that, he thought education was the most important thing in running a chicken plant. So he created a policy that said, you can't advance any further in management in this chicken plant than I already was without having a 4-year college degree. Well, I barely got out of high school. I never went to college, never even thought about going to college. It's not that I was stupid. I just did not enjoy school. So all of a sudden, right, the guy who says no emphatically 3 times in a row, he says, okay, well, what you got? I'll look. And I looked at it. It didn't make any sense to me. It was all these numbers and all this money, and none of it made any sense to me. But there's something about the people, folks. And it's, probably, a lot of people that are on this call today can share the same thing. What attracted me to my first opportunity in network marketing was, yes, the money, but if it weren't for the people, if it wasn't for the culture, if it wasn't for how they authentically cared and were interested in me and my future, I'd have gone somewhere else and done something else. But I was very attracted to people who asked me, what do you want? Well, where do you want to live? What kind of money do you want? What kind of car do you want to drive? Right? What kind of home do you want? What's fun for you? What do you want to do with your leadership? Right? Do you want to develop that? Do you want to become a speaker? And nobody had ever asked me anything like that before. And so it was really attractive, and I got involved. And unfortunately, though, I was not suited to be a network marketer. My personality was introverted. It was kind of negative. And so after 2.5 years full time in network marketing, this is pretty much still what my house looked like, although I was actually living on my sister's couch. But then I figured it out, just like you can figure it out. I got in the right situation with the right people, and I learned, and things changed. And one of the things that changed for me was that I learned how to understand and present network marketing differently than most people did. Most people were talking about the products all the time, talking about the compensation plan, talking about the company. And for me, what made a difference was trying to understand how this model actually worked, because when they explained it to me, it didn't make any sense at all. And so I started noodling around with a presentation I called the 4-year career. And that's how I showed people the opportunity. I didn't show them the comp plan. I, of course, showed them the products. But when they liked the product, I said, hey, let me show you how you could like compress a 40-year career into 4 years and kind of flip the whole script on life. Instead of working for 40 years and then, most people retire and then they die within 5 or 10 years. And they retire on what was not enough money for their whole 40 years. They have less money when they retire. So all those golden years aren't very much fun. I said, what if we flip the script? What if you get it all done in 4 years and then you spend the next 40 years with more money than you ever had? And so that's what the 4-year career is all about. And it actually worked, right? It worked. And like I built a team of 30,000 people in the next 4 years. And this is kind of a fluke, but if you're familiar with Success Magazine, in March of 1992, it's the only time that Success Magazine has ever featured network marketing on its cover, one and only time. And that's me in the middle, younger me, featured on the cover of Success Magazine because I built a team of 30,000 people. That's not actually why they featured me. They liked the chicken plant story. And then, if you fast forward, if you just compare the first house to the second house, this is outside the back slider of our home here on Lanai. And if you could look left and right, that's a 200-degree ocean view. So things can happen in network marketing that, you just maybe don't understand, you don't believe, you don't predict. And how does it happen? It happens 2 ways. You got to learn to believe in you, but you definitely have to learn to believe in this model. And then you have to pick the right company. And one of the things that I did that worked is I learned to believe in me, number one. And number two, I learned to believe in the model. I already believed in my company. And so it just worked, right? I had the passion, I had the conviction. And I'm always looking for, who else believes in this model? And how can I get other people to believe in this model? And this is my favorite quote of all quotes about network marketing. This is Warren Buffett, the founder of Berkshire Hathaway, which is the most prestigious, the most admired investment vehicle and community on the planet. And this is what he says about network marketing. Dollar for dollar, the best investment Berkshire Hathaway has ever made. What's he talking about? He bought 3 network marketing companies, and they gave him a return on investment better than anything else, at least at the time he made the quote, that he'd ever invested in, right? And so where did this all start? This started in 1946, a company called California Vitamins, which some of you may know of today as Nutrilite, which is just a brand inside of Amway. So in 1946, California Vitamins changed the model of just direct selling, which we might consider to be affiliate selling today. And they said, you know what? We're not just going to have people sell the product, and we're not going to just decide as a company who gets to be a sales manager. We're going to let everybody be sales managers if they want to. And we're going to get rid of territories so people can build their sales organization wherever they want. And it's kind of like, eat what you kill. And whoever is the most successful at building a sales organization dominates the market. And that creates all kinds of chaos for sure, but it creates extraordinary exponential growth. And this is the original Nutrilite product line. Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel may recognize those names. They were distributors in California Vitamins selling Nutrilite. And then they went and started their own company called Amway, and they came back and bought California Vitamins and Nutrilite. And today, Nutrilite is the #1 multivitamin brand in the world. Anywhere in the world, any product you've ever seen, Nutrilite outsells it. Doesn't matter how you sell it, right? And so here's my other favorite quote about network marketing. Einstein said, compounding is the 8th wonder of the world. And one of the things that California Vitamins did is they created this rule that, yes, everybody can build a sales organization, but what does that mean? Well, what it means is that if you're a customer, you can enroll other customers, and you can get paid to enroll other customers. That's kind of a fundamental rule that defines network marketing. If you're a customer, you can enroll other customers and you can get paid on their sales. Now, when you do that, rite of passage, you make that transition, you become an affiliate, an associate, a distributor, whatever you want to call them. But, like Al said, you can do that for $50, or sometimes you can do it for $1, right? It's not like buying a franchise. It's not $50,000 or $500,000 or $5 million. It's usually something like $25 or $50. Allows you as a customer to recruit other customers and get paid on them. But because that rule applies to everyone, this is the essence of network marketing. I've spent my whole career teaching people. Because that rule applies to everyone, then if I'm a customer and I recruit customers, well, they're customers so they can recruit customers. And the customers they recruit can recruit customers. And the brilliant thing that California Vitamins did is they said, well, we're going to pay the originator a piece of all of those generations of customers. That's where the concept of multi-level marketing came from. It's really not multi-level marketing, it's multi-level compensation, right? And that opportunity to get paid on multiple generations of customers fuels the compounding growth of the sales organization. How did Richard Brooke, at the age of, I think I was like 24, living in Des Moines, Iowa, I'd never left California as a kid, and all of a sudden I'm living in Des Moines, Iowa. I don't know anybody. I, over a year's period of time, personally sponsored 4 people. I sponsored a lot more than that, but 4 people that went out and built me a team of 30,000. How does that happen? Because every customer can recruit other customers. And because you get paid on all of it, it fuels the compounding, right, of the sales force. Einstein said, compounding is the 8th wonder of the world. Most people don't even understand it as a piece of math, right? And then here's the other phenomenal thing about network marketing, and then I'm going to get into Manatech and why it's just one of the most precious opportunities on the planet. When you build an organization of whether it's 300 people or 3,000 people or 30,000 people, everybody's a customer. Now, a lot of those people might be distributors, they might be selling, but in most companies, it's only about 5% of the customers that ever get out and sell anything. The rest of the people are just customers. But when you have that many people on which you're getting paid, right? It's just like everybody's doing a little bit and you're getting paid a little bit. You know, J. Paul Getty said, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. And that is network marketing. When your income is spread out over that many sources, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of sources, if you can kind of track with me on this, all those sources start to care less about what you do. Where are you? How much are you selling this month? What are you doing to inspire me, who might be like 3-4 generations down, just using the product? Most customers have no idea who that person on top is. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't influence whether or not people buy. What influences whether or not they buy? The quality of the product, right? And if the value proposition and the quality of the product is there, people keep buying. How do I have third generation clients that I coach? Because their grandparents built with a product line that is still relevant, valid, in demand today, 50, 60 years later. How's that happen? Just, innovate, stay on top of the trends, keep your research and development up, keep your patents up. So what's the rule of 200? The rule of 200 says that if you build an income that is tested by time, meaning there's some adversity comes into play, right? Like there's a slowdown of the markets, or the company slows down, or competition rises up, or whatever, right? The economy in the whole country slows down, but your income is still there. It may go like this, but it doesn't go away, right? It's been tested by time. It's been tested perhaps by you not driving it anymore. Now maybe you're just enjoying the income, but it's still there. Why? Because your product's still in demand. If your income's been tested that way, then the rule of 200 starts to apply. And what does the rule of 200 say? That your income is worth 200 times, your monthly income is worth 200 times as an asset. So if you have an income of just $1,000 a month, that as an asset is worth $200,000. Why? Because what would you have to build? Real estate, equities, saving, investing. How much money would you need to pile up, invested in real estate, invested in equities, so that that asset produced $1,000 a month? 200 grand at least. If you have $5,000 a month of tested residual income, it's worth $1 million. And here's the most extraordinary thing about network marketing. Where can you start with $50 and 4 or 5 years later create an asset of a couple $100,000 or more? Only in network marketing, right? So these are the things that drove me to appreciate through, I've been doing this now full time for 48 years. I had a couple of part-time stints in high school and right out of high school in direct selling that I failed miserably at, but I've been full-time since 1977, 48 years. And these are the things that I appreciate about the model. And then when I look at all the companies out there that are practicing the model, I'm looking at who is actually a company that if you build it once, you get paid forever. How do you know, right? Well, I'll tell you how you know. Proof over promises. And you can get out there and look around the network marketing community and you can hear hundreds and hundreds of companies making promises. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're the fastest growing this. We're the fastest growing that. We're going to reinvent network marketing. We're doing everything different, so it'll be so easy for you. Well, it might be hard to fathom, but there's 3,000 network marketing companies that are doing business today around the world, about 700 in the United States. And in the last 20 or 30 years, since Manitech's been in business, how many companies have come and gone? Oh, at least 300,000. At least 300,000 come and gone since Manitech has come and stayed. So if you want to know what company to build in, if you want to know what products to sell, well, look to the companies that have been doing this for 30, 40, or 50 years. Find a product line in one of those companies you can fall in love with. And now you're doing the smart thing, because if you build it once, you want to get paid forever, right? So here's what Manitech has been doing for proof. 31 years of unshakable commitment, right? Unshakable, ups and downs. Yes, they've had everything you can imagine happen to them that happens to any business, right? People quit and there's lawsuits and the economy affects things and there's competition and everything, right? Everything has ever happened to Manitech, but where is it? Oh, still here, still like a massive business all over the world. People have been making money for 31 years. Why? Well, extraordinary products for one, right? And over those 31 years, I just guessed at this, but I think it's a pretty good educated guess. The Manitech's paid out over $1.5 billion in commissions, and they keep paying every month. Some people have been getting paid for 31 years every month, $1.5 billion over 31 years. 31 years of product substantiation. How do we know? Over 100 patents, over 50 of them just on the glycan biology, which is, Manitech's like the only company that has that, right? The only company that created that whole concept and created all of the studies behind it. The only product that is certified and by weight to like hold the flag for what is glycan biology. It's Manitech. They're the only 100% aloe-based glycan on the planet. And there's over 50 patents to prove that and over 100 patents altogether. And then 31 years of product innovation. 31 years of product innovation, culminating with what? The Love Your Liver Reset. Here we are 31 years later. If you look at like every decade of Manitech, you've seen in the first decade, all this probably crazy stuff about what glycans could do and how they could heal everything. And the second decade, maybe a little bit more science, maybe a little bit more careful approach to things. The third decade, I know Manitech's tried a lot of things in the third decade, but where are they now? They landed on the mother lode of product innovation. And that's just not product, it's a program. It's reinventing how your liver supports your body so that weight comes off and energy comes on. And it's the most extraordinary thing. I have been watching Manitech literally from 31 years. I watched this company being founded 31 years ago. Probably 29 years ago, I met the founder and some of the top distributors in my hometown. They came to do a meeting in my hometown, and I just went and met them and talked to them. I've been following Manitech the entire career. This is the biggest gold rush Manitech has ever created. Love Your Liver Reset. People are going bonkers for it. Why? Because it works so profoundly to change how you feel. And when you feel radically different after using a product, what do? You tell people about it. You don't even have to tell people about it. They ask you, what are you doing? Have you lost weight? You look good. Are you in love? Right? That's the kind of change people feel with this product. And then they tell people. And when they tell people, then that compounding starts, right? That viral growth starts where it's like a really great new restaurant in town, right? Everybody starts talking about it and other people tell other people and other people tell other people. And all of a sudden, the waiting list is 2 months long to get in. That's Manitech with Love Your Liver Reset. 31 years of visionary leadership. You met these two guys already. You know these two guys. You know who they are. I mean, Al Bala, he's one of the very few. I don't know how many there are, Al, but there's not very many. There might be on one hand you could count how many network marketers built their own substantial team and are then now leading other people corporately to build teams and are still doing it. Now you have like 35 years. I have 48 years. Maybe you have close to 40 years. There's not very many people like us. We not only have all that history and experience, but as my wife tells me when she's listening to me rant on these Zooms, she says, I don't get it. You've been doing this for 48 years. How are you more excited about this today than you were when I met you 10 years ago? I said, well, it just keeps getting better and better and better, doesn't it, Al? Better products, better companies, better opportunity, more people to help build their own freedom. And then you have somebody like Landon Fredericks who's steering the ship, who's captaining the ship. And Landon grew up in network marketing. I'm going to talk about his dad in a second, but you know, he grew up in this in total environment. You know, his DNA is Manitech, and direct selling and network marketing is his DNA. This is all he knows and all he loves. And he is the next generation of vision and stewardship for this organization so that people getting in today can earn for the next 30 or 40 years. And who knows, maybe Landon's kids will be the CEO 20, 30 years from now, and we catch a fourth wave, right? Landon is one of the smartest, hardest working, most dedicated, most loyal. And here's what I love about him most. He is the most learning CEO I know of, and I know tons of them. He leans into everything new he can possibly learn so that he can serve you better. He should get CEO of the Year award for network marketing. He's that good, and he's all yours. And then 31 years of award-winning ownership. This is Stan Fredericks. This is Landon's father. Stan Fredericks, I've been doing this for 48 years. Literally, I met Stan Fredericks, I'm going to say 40 years ago. And from the day I met him, I watched him like a hawk because I knew he was different. First of all, he was quiet. But boy, when he spoke, everybody shut up and listened. This was a leader. This is a leader that built it from the ground up. Like, he wasn't just telling people about theory. He built his own team, and then he built his own companies. And he's been a network marketing hero and leader and visionary for decades and decades and decades. And he is the primary owner of Manitech. The whole Frederick family is, and we could not be in better hands. Award-winning ownership. Now, why you? I didn't have a picture of you, or I'd put it up here. Why you and why now? Well, here's how I wrap it up. Why you? Because you can. Now, I don't know if you believe you can, but I know you can. I know anybody can do this. If somebody who just barely got out of high school and used to work in a chicken plant can do this, if a guy working on a factory floor making jewelry can do this, you can do this. Doesn't matter where you come from, what you do for a living, how much education you have. What really matters is what kind of fire do you have in your belly? Like, how much tolerance do you have for the way life is? Like, how comfortable are you? I think if Al and I had anything going for us, we were not comfortable, right? We were not satisfied. We wanted more. And so if you want more and you're willing to be coached and you're willing to learn and you're willing to work, you can make this work. You can do this. May not happen overnight, but hey, why now? Well, think about it. You're worth it, right? You are worth it. You know you're worth it. You've always been worth it. You may have doubts at times, but you are worth it, and your family's worth it. If you don't do it for you, do it for your family. Right? What do you want for your kids? How about your kids and your grandkids inheriting an income that you built in the, 2020s? You built it for 2025, 26, 27 till 2030. And then in 2050, you passed away and your kids got it and your grandkids get it. You can create a legacy. You can change the financial future of your entire family for generations by building something once. Why? Because you can do it. And because you're worth it and your family's worth it. And why now? Well, this isn't a scary thing, right? This isn't a runaway train, but 4 years is coming at you and I like a train, like a runaway freight train, right? Think about 4 years ago. How fast was 4 years ago? I mean, the last 4 years has just gone by like that. So we know the next 4 years is going to go by like that. It's going to be here whether we do something different or not. And so if you don't want to be in the same position you're in today, 4 years from now, if you want to be in a different place, if you want momentum, if you want to be healthier, if you want more income, if you want to be having more fun, if you want to be learning, if you want to be sharp, if you want to be surrounded by awesome people where you're helping them and other people are helping you, if you want to be in that kind of uplifting environment, you can do all that in the next 4 years. Or because that 4 years is coming at you like a runaway freight train, you can be right where you're at. Totally up to you. We're all going to be light years ahead of where we are now. You can either be circling the drain, and I don't mean like, gone, but circling the drain, status quo. Or you can be dancing in the rain. It's all up to you. Choose network marketing. Choose a company that has proven that if you build it, you get paid forever. Choose products that have been in demand for decades so that you get paid for decades into the future. Choose Manatech. Thanks for listening. Kick it back to you, Al.
Okay, well, thank you. Let's give Mr. Richard Brooks some love, some applause. I told you this was going to be one of the most significant global connection calls we were going to have, and it did not fail. It totally came through just as we expected. Richard, that was a great presentation. Really appreciate it. Landon, I know you've been listening, so do you want to add some comment, and then I'm going to close it, and then we can go and enjoy the rest of this weekend.
You know what, Al? I'll just say that that was an extraordinary presentation by Richard, and it was. If anybody that's out there in the audience, weren't you just completely inspired? I mean, this is the time right now, and if you wondered if it was, I think you know. And I just want to make a plug real quick for both of these guys' books because. You hear from them on the screen, but I'm telling you, there's so much to offer from both of them. When you get into the pages, things that you can internalize and become. And it all starts right now. Just deciding to start your day a certain way. That's what I do. When I was off track, you just start your day and you habit stack. And so don't miss out on getting the motivation equation. Don't miss out on there's so many Mach 5 with your hair on fire. That's 4-year career. And there's the new leadership on fire. Don't miss out on this opportunity to get these books and to really internalize these principles. So that's all I'll say. But look, it's going to be a magnificent year. Just imagine when you're grounded in these kind of principles and learning, and you have these great thought leaders out there who help you to become a better leader by what they are modeling. And just imagine what we can accomplish, what each one of you can accomplish this year, right now, to close out the year and to head into 2026 strong. So thank you, everybody. We'll be talking again soon.
All right. Thank you, Landon. And for everybody, just remember, we are on all week. We got a bunch of meetings going on. Stay in tune with the person who invited you. Come and find out more about the Liver Reset. We have an introduction meeting on Tuesdays. We have an onboarding on Thursday. We have a Saturday huddle for those of you who are already associates. We meet every Saturday, 10 a.m. with a team. And Richard is part of that. It's part of our coaching. And guys, remember, we're going into the most significant 4 days, business-wise, of the year. $74+ billion will exchange hands. How much of it do you want? You can start today. Set up your shop and be ready to get in the flow. Let's get in the flow. All right. So anyways, thank you, Richard, again. Landon, thanks for jumping in. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great rest of this weekend. And we'll see you again in about a month for this call. But we're going to see you all week for all the other meetings that we have going on. Check with the person who invited you. Talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.